All right, guys, I got 9:05. Let's go ahead and get started. If you can see my screen over here, we are gathered this evening to go through 25 practice questions. The total tester bank of practice questions. This is actually recommended in the latest version. I think it's the 8th edition of the Sean Harris total the study guide. What do you call that? The all-in-one CISSP study guide. So these are a pretty authoritative set of practice questions, and we've gone through quite a few of them so far. All right, so here we go. Question number 1. Which of the following has the advantages of ease of reuse, or ease of reusing code and reduced maintenance? Ease of reusing code and reduced maintenance.
I'm ready.
Most of the answers are, all of them are related to databases. All right, anyone else? All right, what do you got?
A.
Ease of use and reduce maintenance. I know object-oriented databases can include more than just data. They can include audio files and other file formats. I'm kind of leaning towards relational database, or actually no, object-oriented. Yeah, if we were talking about object-oriented programming, that definitely fits the bill here, but I think it also fits the bill for databases. Anybody disagree?
Oh yeah, I thought it was the same question. I didn't even notice until you just mentioned that.
Yeah. I think we've seen either this one or something similar to this one in the past, but yeah, with object-oriented programming, it definitely reduces. One of the advantages is the ease of reusing code and reduce maintenance. But with respect to databases, we'll see. Number 2, which factor is the most important item when it comes to ensuring that security is successfully in an organization? Which item is
ready?
Most important? Yeah, this is a layup. All right, what do you got?
A.
Alpha, senior management support. That is also referred to as a top-down approach. If you don't have a top-down approach, if you don't have senior management's buy-in, you're just a cheerleader waving pom-poms. Number 3, which of the following has an incorrect change control definition mapping? Which one is incorrect? Okay, I think I'm ready. Anyone else? First of all, I don't like the way 1 and 2 are worded. Request for a change to take place, and then a capital request should be represented. There should be some kind of a punctuation there, I think, but request for a change to take place isn't a complete sentence.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Charlie.
I think it's the order in which they want the change management process should occur. So request for change to take place, and then hyphen request should be presented to an individual or group that is responsible. So I think that's how we should read it.
Yeah. All right. Any takers on this one?
I'm going for D.
Yeah, I'm Delta.
Yep. Same here. Approval of the change. The individual requesting the change should not justify the reason and clearly show the benefits and possible pitfalls of the change. That's definitely not a good idea. Our number 4, name servers and resolvers are the two primary components of what?
I'm ready. We just have
I'm
the
ready.
Yeah, it's a layup. Go for it.
DNS, eh?
Yeah.
Alpha, DNS. DNS resolves host name to IP address. ARP resolves IP to host name. Number 5, a hot site offers blank recovery with blank cost. We've seen this one before. Hot site.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Ready.
Go for it.
A.
Hey,
Alpha. A hot site offers instant recovery with high costs. New York Stock Exchange would have a hot site. Number 6, what is access control? Okay.
I'm ready.
Yeah, this is a layup. Go for it.
I'm ready.
C.
Ooh. Anyone else?
Or it's D.
Delta. I'm going with Delta.
Yeah, actually, I read
Yeah, Delta, definitely.
Delta.
Delta.
Access control is controlling how an active object accesses a passive object. Number 7, Bob is a new security administrator at a financial institution. The organization has experienced some suspicious activity on one of the critical servers that contain customer data. When reviewing how the systems are administered, he uncovers some concerning issues pertaining to remote administration. Which of the following should not be put into place to reduce these concerns? Should not be put in place to reduce these concerns. Oh, this is not listed the way it should be, the answers.
Is this a trick question? What the?
I think it's an incorrect question actually, because if the organization has experienced suspicious activity from remote pertaining to remote administration, which of the following should not be put in place? So alpha, commands and data should not take place in clear text. You definitely don't want that. If you're administering remotely, you want the commands to be encrypted. You don't want them to be in clear text. Number 2, SSH should be used, not telnet. Well, actually, I thought that was SSL. I was thinking SSL at first, but
That should be true because that's like for Cisco.
yeah, maybe
I
none.
think all of them.
Yeah, all of them are things you should be doing, right?
Yep.
None of them are
Yeah,
things.
except for Oh yeah, should not take place in clear text. Okay, yeah, I think I'm going with all of them.
Yeah.
Well, none of them are
None
things
of them.
you should not be doing. All of them are things you should be doing. So I'm going to select none of them. Which of the following should not be, well, should not be in place? Yeah, should not be in place. None of them should not be in place. All of them should be in place. I hate the way this is worded.
No, but then they don't want you to change the scenario. So he uncovers some concerns and which should not be put in place to reduce these concerns. So they don't want to mitigate those concerns. So all of them should not be put in place to reduce these concerns. All right, I'm going with A. If I'm wrong, we'll see.
Now, anyone else? My brain is tied in a knot here.
Hi, Donald. It's Lynn.
Hey, Lynn. How you doing?
This good. This type of question is called a double negative.
Yeah.
So the best way to read it is to read it if you took out should not and instead put in should and then reverse the answer. Maybe that may clear it up. So I agree with everybody in regards to none of them, but it's called a double negative question. So yeah, you have to read it over and over again. It's the opposite of what the answer should be.
So if we take that logic, and I agree with you, which of the following should be in place to reduce the concerns? All of them should be in place to reduce the concerns, but because it's a double negative, we're going to say none of them.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But yeah, this is these double negatives are. I mean, a single negative where they say not is difficult enough, but when they present it to us this way. But yeah, thanks, Lynn. Appreciate it.
No problem.
We'll see how it turns out. All right, number 8. Which are the proper steps of developing a disaster recovery and continuity plan? Proper steps of developing disaster recovery and continuity plan.
I'm ready.
And you're fast. Hold on a second.
Yeah, I'm ready as well.
All right, go for it.
I'm going for B. I thought it was D at first.
Yeah, but testing
It's one
is in place there, I think. Actually, hold on.
I'm thinking A on this one.
You implement before you test. I would like to test before I implement, but none of them provide that opportunity.
I'm going with A.
So alpha is project initiation, strategy development, business impact assessment, plan development, implementation, testing. Okay, yeah, I like that one. Anybody disagree? We'll see. Number 9, which of the following statements is true with respect to discovery in a legal case? We've seen this one. All right, anyone ready?
I'm ready.
Go for it.
Charlie?
That's what I'm thinking. Anyone else? Data that has been retained due to a retention requirement is subject to discovery. If you have the prosecutor and the defense, if either one of them have evidence during the discovery phase, they have to share that evidence with the opposite team. Essentially is what this is saying, I believe. Number 10, the operating system performs all except which of the following tasks?
I'm ready.
All right, go for it.
Ready?
Delta.
Yeah.
Yeah, thinking. Database views doesn't really have anything to do with the operating system. Number 11, with respect to data loss prevention, what term describes the ability to quickly recover from a crisis and to avoid catastrophe even in the face of an ongoing breach? With respect to DLP, what term describes the ability to recover from a crisis and avoid catastrophe?
I'm ready.
All right, go for it.
Charlie.
Yep, that's what I'm thinking. Anyone else?
Yeah, I'm going for a C2.
Charlie, okay. DLP resiliency. Number 12, Alice, Bob, and many other colleagues have spent months constructing a business continuity plan for their enterprise. What is the first test of their findings that should be conducted? This is a layup. We've seen this one before.
Ready?
Go for it.
A.
Alpha, a checklist. Number 13, which of the following is the LAN transmission method, local area network transmission method, used by a station seeking to transmit data to a group of stations? A group.
I'm ready.
Okay. Anyone else?
Yeah, I'm ready, I think.
I'm ready. I'm
Go
ready.
for it.
Go for the broadcast. C or B or C.
Anyone else?
Thinking to a group.
Yeah, for me,
I'm going Bravo.
yeah, if it were broadcast, it would have said all recipients.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
The fact that it's saying a group means many, but not necessarily all. So I'm going to have to go with multicast here. Number 14, which of the following computer components dictates when data is processed by the system's processor? The following computer components dictates when data is processed by the system. So we have two components of a CPU, the control unit and the arithmetic logic unit, the ALU. But which one controls when things are processed? One is a traffic cop and one is a calculator.
I'm ready.
Yeah. Control.
All right, go for it.
It's Alpha.
Alpha, all the way. All right, number 15, which of the following is not a management role in the process of implementing and maintaining security? Not a management role. I think this one's pretty straightforward. We haven't seen this one yet, but I think it's straightforward.
I'm ready.
All right, go for it.
Go for A.
It's Bravo.
Yeah, it's I agree. Bravo. Management doesn't perform anything. They support, they define, they delegate, but they don't do.
Hey, Donald,
Uh-huh.
on that last one, it's kind of a trip up because if any of us are looking at support, we're thinking technical support, but anytime you see support and management, you always know that management doesn't do support. Technical, I mean.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, I guess.
Oh.
confused there.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, I see your point there. Yeah, I saw it as provide moral support. I guess you guys saw it as technical support. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, we got to put our manager's hats on for this exam. Number 16, an accurate picture of the use and acceptance of biometrics is.
I'm ready, I think.
I'm ready.
All right, go for it.
I'm going for A.
It's Delta.
Let's see,
Really?
biometrics is definitely not inexpensive. It's definitely expensive. That's one of the reasons why it's not implemented on a broader scale.
Damn it. I'm not reading the question all the way. You're right.
The question for me, is it very well received and or highly accurate? I think last time we selected moderately received because I thought folks had problems with it, especially with like when you have a an iris scanner.
Yeah,
That
it can be very intrusive, and if it's really locked down, it can really frustrate the end user who's trying to access a particular space.
yeah. But I think we were wrong, and it's very expensive. It's well received, very well received, and highly accurate. I'm gonna go with this one if I recall correctly. I think that's what it was. We'll see.
I disagree. I think it's not well received. I think it's very expensive, highly accurate, and not well received. I think, like you guys said, it's intrusive.
Yeah.
And I think people still feel that way.
Yeah, I'm leaning more towards D on this one.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I agree actually. But I think I recall, I'll go ahead and select D here, but I think I recall it going against my logic. And I remember thinking that it's not well received. But we'll see. We'll see.
I think it's C. I'm going to stick with C.
Yeah. All right.
I think the problem with that is that some of us are old salts, and we know the fact that when we first got started, it was never well received. And I think that that's changed as a new generation has come on board. Part of it's because of movie media and television. They see it more often, so they don't even think about it. They just, oh, okay, this is what I do.
Yeah. And whether it's highly accurate or not is contingent upon the crossover error rate. And you have to adjust that to determine whether it's going to be accurate or not. You can't just say that all biometric systems are accurate. I know with the iPhone face recognition, my twin brother can open my iPhone and I can open his, you know? But yeah, we'll see. Number 17, which of the following is required for crypt analysis? Crypt analysis is the practice of trying to break crypto systems.
I'm ready.
I'm ready. I'm thinking again.
All right, go for it.
I'm going for B.
I agree, B.
I've seen this somewhere before. I think there was like there's many types of cryptanalysis, and then there's like, wasn't there those known plain text and attacks and all those other attacks?
Yeah. So what's at play here is you could have a piece of the plain text. You can have a piece of the ciphertext. You could have you could know what the algorithm is, and you can know what the key is. If you have all four of those, then you've cracked it. But I think it's more important to have the key and the algorithm. Key's not an option here. I think I might go with Delta here because ciphertext and the algorithm I think would be more valuable. Well, then again, plain text and ciphertext. Oof.
I know CyberSecStudy is in it. That's all I know. But yeah, you could be it's AD, I guess.
I'm on the fence here, man. Anybody
I,
else?
I think it's B because we don't want to go against the Steve.
Yeah. You know what? Say no more. You are right. We will heed our prior advice and
I've been getting wrong all night, so and I'm eating something right now, so I'm not really
now
fully.
we're gonna trust you on this one. All right, number 18. Tom has led a research group in deciding upon the type of access control that should be used in the product their company is planning to develop. Which of the following is the best reason why the group decided upon rule-based access control?
I'm ready. We've seen this one.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Go for it.
I think it was because it was D. We got this one wrong last time.
Delta. It allows for access decisions to be based on complex situations. I remember the last time we got this one right. So I'm pretty confident about that one. Number 19, what is the most significant aspect of buffer overflow vulnerabilities? Most important or most significant aspect of buffer overflow?
I'm ready. We've seen this one a
Yep.
lot.
Yep, go for it.
This is B.
Bravo. They can commonly be successfully attacked remotely, resulting in malicious code executing within the same security context as the local process being compromised. The fact that successfully accessed remotely is the most significant concern. Number 20, Nancy is a new network administrator and has been faced with decision of implementing either direct access backup systems or sequential access backup storage devices. Which of the following does not properly describe these types of technologies? Sequential access storage, direct access or sequential access. Which one does not properly describe?
Ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
I'm ready, I think.
All right, go for it.
B.
Yeah, B.
Yep. Alpha is a correct statement. Bravo is an incorrect statement. And that's what they asked for. Number 21, Dan is going to send sensitive data over a potentially compromised network link. Which of the following technologies is least likely to help him ensure that the data is not intercepted in transit? Yeah, this is a layup. We've seen this one. Anyone?
Go for it. I'm ready. A.
Yep, Alpha. Secure socket layer should not be used anymore. It's replaced by TLS. A VPN and IPsec are good options. Number 22, in TCP, what does a sequence number do?
I'm ready.
All right, go for it.
I think that it's alpha.
Anyone else?
That's the only one I've ever seen. I guess I'm going for Alpha too. Like I've never even heard of the, or it could be B. Yeah, I'm going for A.
Actually, I agree with you. I'm on the fence about alpha or Bravo after reading it, but it's one of those two.
Yeah,
I never seen CRD before, and any network.
I'm gonna have to go with Bravo.
Yeah, I'm going Bravo on this one.
Have to go with Bravo. TCP is connection oriented, right? So you have the TCP handshake. You can guarantee message delivery. Well, you guarantee that you're communicating with another computer before you attempt to communicate. But with respect to the sequence number, packets of information can be, since you're not going to just type your big message, hit send, and that whole message gets sent. That message is broken up into packets. They get a sequence number, and they can be sent across the wire out of sequence and then put back into the correct sequence before they go up the OSI model stack. So disassembles and reassembles packets, I think has to be. We'll see. Number 23, what is social engineering? A layup. We've seen this too many times.
Right.
Go for it.
I'm ready.
D.
Delta. Techniques designed to manipulate employees so they violate security protocols. 24, Bob needs to test the running behavior of a new product a team has been working on in order to ensure that all user inputs have been properly validated prior to being processed. Which of the following terms is used to describe this activity?
Ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Test the running behavior. All right, go for it.
C.
I'm thinking A on this one.
Huh.
I don't even think it's A. I thought it was like they're trying to test the code when it's running, right?
Yeah.
And static is when it's not.
Yep. Static when it's not running.
It should be like dynamic, isn't it? Or
Yeah, it should be dynamic. I know fuzzing is when you input incorrect information and see how it responds, or a ton of information.
yeah, random.
Yeah, it's not asking, see if the program crashes. So that's why I went with a
Yeah,
A on this one. But
That is the closest thing kind of to unless program analysis is dynamic.
that's what I'm thinking. Program analysis is dynamic while the system is running. You're testing it. That's
Is that what it means? I don't know what
I think
program
so.
analysis.
I think so. That's not the term that I would use, but I think it does. It's the closest one in my opinion, anyway. We'll see. All right, 25, final one. Which of the following produces code that is platform independent?
I'm ready.
Go for it.
Yep.
A.
Yep.
Java. I agree. All right, let's see how we did. In the boot camp I'm doing on site during the days, we're getting nothing less than 90%. All right, number one. And
So what is that?
I'm sorry?
What does less than 90% mean to us? So
Well, we're doing more questions for one. We're only doing like 10 to 15 questions in that group. And we had a bank of questions on domain 3 today that were just all layups. I mean, it was unbelievably easy. But I think because we are incorporating all 8 domains and we're doing more questions, I wouldn't say too much about it. So object-oriented database has the characteristics of ease of use, or ease of reusing code and analysis, reduce maintenance, and it's easier and easier transition from analysis of the program to design and implementation. Can you guys hear that I'm tired a sec? It's been a long day. All right, number 2, we got this one right. Without senior management support, top-down approach, can't get things done. This one was pretty straightforward. Which of the following has an incorrect change control definition? It was 2. That was pretty easy. Number 4, domain name service DNS is a global network of name servers that translates host names into numerical IP addresses. A hot site provides instant recovery and with a high cost. Let's see here. What is access control? Seriously? Security features that control how users and systems communicate and interact with other systems and resources?
Oh, I got that right.
I can't agree with that. Access control is exactly how. Oh, no, I got that wrong. Look at that. No, Delta says controlling how active objects
It
access
should be.
passive subjects. That's backwards.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was looking at, and then
Yeah.
you guys were like, "Oh yeah, it's
Should be
you know."
passive objects and active subjects. Oh my goodness. Yeah, don't let this. Oh, I really must be tired to allow that to happen. Access controls are security features that control how users and systems communicate and interact with other systems and resources. Really, it's how subjects can access objects. Subjects are active, objects are passive. We were right about this double negative. I don't even want to think about this one again. Thanks, Lynn, for for guiding us on this one. And then the proper steps of developing disaster recovery. These steps outline the process that should take place from beginning to end. Project initiation, strategy development, BIA, plan development, implementation, testing, and maintenance. Which of the following is true with respect to discovery in legal case? Data that is legally required to be retained must be made available upon discovery or upon a discovery order, either from the prosecutor or the defense. The operating system has a long list of responsibility, but implementing database views is not one of them. DLP, to maintain DLP operations during a breach and to ensure that the situation is controlled and does not dissolve into a catastrophic failure, a security program must assume such conditions may occur and provide for resiliency. A checklist or a desk check test is done to ensure that nothing has been left out of the plan. It's the first thing you should do. Structured walkthrough is a drill performed by representatives of each functional area. A simulation test seeks to emulate the performance of recovery steps in real time. So you have your primary site, your alternate processing site. During simulation, you would continue operations at the primary site, but bring up operations at the alternate site. Both of them are running simultaneously. A full cutover, you would cut off operations at the primary site and move operations to the alternate site. We got this one right, multitask. When a single station needs to send data to a specific group of other stations, the method it uses is referred to as a multicast. Unicast is the method used to transmit data from one station to one other station, and broadcast is the method used to transmit data from one station to all other stations. There is no method called groupcast. That's a red herring. The control unit determines when data instructions can be sent on to the CPU for processing. The ALU is a component of the CPU that performs mathematical and logical operations. The CPU has two components, control unit, arithmetic logic unit. The control unit is considered like the traffic cop, and the ALU is considered the calculator. Which of the following is not a management role? The number one ingredient management needs to provide when it comes to security is support. They need to define the role of security, the scope of security, and the different assessments that will be carried out. And they will delegate who does what pertaining to security. They will not carry out the analysis, but are responsible for making sure that one is done and that they act on the results it provides. Accurate picture of the use and acceptance of bio. Yeah, thanks for who saved the day on this one? Was that you, Derek?
No, that would be me.
Let's give credit where it's due. So biometrics verifies an individual's identity by analyzing a unique personal attribute or behavior, which is one of the most effective and accurate methods of verifying identification. Biometrics is a very sophisticated technology, thus it is much more expensive and complex than other types of identity verification processes. Biometric systems can make authentication decisions based on an individual's behavior, as in signature dynamics, but these can change over time and possibly be forged. Biometric systems that base authentication decisions on physical attributes, such as the iris, retina, and fingerprint, provide more accuracy because physical attributes typically don't change, absent from some disfiguring injury, and are harder to impersonate. So these biometric systems work by behavior or personal attribute. Behavioral based can be, the behaviors can change over time, but the unique personal attributes don't change unless there's physical dismemberment. So this thing is saying that they're very expensive, not well received by society. This explanation didn't talk about that, but they are highly accurate. Let's see here. Which of the following is required for crypt analysis?
You got that right?
Yeah, I was thinking algorithm. Yeah, I mean, plain text, having the plain text and the ciphertext is good, but the algorithm and the key, having those is most important. Then the plain text and ciphertext. But yeah, I don't. I'm not. I don't. I don't think we were too wrong in selecting what we did. Allows for access decisions based on complex situations. This is for rule-based access control. And then number 19, most significant aspect of buffer overflow. All the statements are true with respect to buffer overflows, but what makes them a highly significant risk is the ease with which they can commonly be exploited and the level of access they can typically provide to an attacker. This one, the following does not properly describe these types of technologies. Oh, the difference between direct access and sequential access to backups. I'm not going to read all, that's a lot of stuff, but at any point on a sequential access storage device may be promptly reached. That's not a true statement. SSL is specifically depreciated because it has many known vulnerabilities and thus should not be used. The latest version of TLS should be used instead of SSL. Oh, wow, we were wrong about this one. So, who was that got this one right? Guarantees message delivery. How the heck?
I did that.
Ah, this goes against
group.
Say again?
Nothing. I was being funny. Never mind.
Yeah, this goes against my mental picture. Okay. Sequence numbers are populated within packets as a way of ensuring that the message is delivered to the appropriate destination and is from the appropriate sender. Okay.
I didn't know that.
The reason why it's that way, and that's my background is networking, is because if it takes packets and tries to reassemble them, and it sees that there's a packet out of sequence, then it sends an hack to resend that particular part of the message so that it can reassemble the packets correctly. That's why it's a guaranteed message delivery. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, so that now when I do that Wireshark stuff, and yeah, it makes sense now. I didn't know that.
Mm.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was thinking though that if the packets are sent out of sequence, then it will put them in the correct sequence, reassemble them, and everything's okay. I didn't take into consideration that if they get them out of sequence, it's because one didn't come. I was considering that they all arrived, but they were out of sequence.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that they can arrive out of sequence, but if it tries to assemble the packets into the message that was sent, and it's missing a packet that has that particular sequence in it, then it resends for that sequence to be resent. So it sends an hack to the server to resend the message so that it can guarantee that there was delivery of the whole thing. But it may send out of sequence.
Yeah.
Because you may have a packet that you're sending from California to Washington, D.C., but some of it may go by way of Mount Moscow before it ever gets to D.C. So as long as it gets all the sequence numbers, then it assembles the packet. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, I thought that's what I said, but you know,
Oh.
I assume that all the packets arrived to the destination, but they were out of order and they just needed to be reassembled in the correct order. I didn't assume that the destination received the sequences, but not the actual packets, and that another packet had to be resent. But yeah, that's we're digging way down into the minutia here, and I think
I got this one wrong as well, but I think another way to look at it is make it simple. The way is guaranteed message delivery, which is what TCP is versus what UDP.
Yeah.
So look at it that way.
Yeah. Versus UDP. Connection oriented versus connection less oriented. Let's just keep it simple. All right. Yeah. Thanks, Eric. You always provide gems, man. We appreciate it. Social engineering, that's a layup. That's too easy. Ooh, fuzzing. Was that you again, Eric?
No, that was the Steve.
I thought someone else chose fuzzing.
Yeah, I gave that answer.
Yeah, I didn't pick any.
Now, Steve was right in thinking it was dynamic analysis versus static analysis, but we didn't realize that fuzzing was a dynamic analysis technique.
I never would have picked fuzzing for this answer.
Yeah, I would have said dynamic, whatever it was.
Based off the question, yeah, I wouldn't have gone with fuzzing.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to relook at my definition for fuzzing, but I didn't realize it was a dynamic analysis technique that's designed to test a program's resilience against malware. Actually, I did know that, doggone it. I just didn't know dynamic analysis. To test a program's resilience against malformed and unexpected inputs. That was my understanding. I didn't have the first part, but okay. That's why we do practice questions.
Well, hang on a minute before you go. If you read the question, it says nothing about malformed. If I had read that question with the information of malformed in it, there's no question I would have picked for a fuzzy. Does that make sense? Or am I still reading it wrong?
Yeah, the question itself is really just speaks to whether it's dynamic or static, not to malformed and unexpected inputs.
To me, the fact that it's malformed is the key to whether or not I pick fuzzing as the analysis approach to the problem. Oh, well, it's just the way it's worded.
Yeah, well, I knew
Doc,
that it was I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna ask, is fuzzing a form of input validation?
Yeah, sounds like it, right?
Yeah, I think that's safe to say, because I remember seeing it with like input validation for injections and stuff.
So my understanding was for fuzzing, if the application is asking for numbers and you submit letters, you're trying to see how the system would respond, right?
Let's
Is
see.
it
Okay.
resilient against receiving something other than what it expects?
Mm-hmm.
That was my only understanding of it. That's why I didn't select this one. I didn't realize that fuzzing is dynamic analysis technique. Otherwise, I would have selected. So, but now we know.
Okay. Don, that was a Security Plus question, by the way.
Oh
The
yeah.
fuzzing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to get that content from you, man.
I got you.
All right, 25. We got that one right. Java. Java's claim to fame is that when compiled, it can be run anywhere, assuming a Java virtual machine is available on the client. All right, not too bad. We learned some good stuff. I keep getting questions from people asking if I'm not getting high scores on practice questions, does that mean something that I'm not ready? For me, it's whether you're seeing new content and learning new things. So we're still learning. We saw some new things and learned some new things tonight, so we need to keep going. All right. But good job, everyone.
Thanks.
Thanks, Don.
Yep. Take care.
Good night.
Everyone.